Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to Steins Gate Zero. It is episode 20, and you know what to do. If you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the circumflex.parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back to the future and the past in the same time. So, that was an interesting episode. Because they changed some ideas, they put in another idea of time jumping, time leaping. So, let's go through it and talk a little bit about it, right? So first things first, we stranded in the future. Because the time leap machine whysoever didn't work in the past, and this moment where his brain, his memories himself was extracted from his body, so it was just copied, was stored on the computer, and it wasn't sent through time. So his original self, including the body, just stood in front and realized it didn't work, and that's when everything went down. And in the future, Darren was able to use this copy of his memory, of his data, to copy it into his body, which was lying around there. So, it's an idea that should be working. Why not? If you have the method to do it. We've seen this time break idea, so that something went wrong in the beginning. I wrote down this number like 65,536 meeting of them. I didn't count it through. I mean, maybe it has a deeper meaning, maybe not. I'm not sure. However, he woke up being a very, very much older man. Clearly having physical problems, which makes sense if you lie around since 11 years, because that's the time that he is presumed dead. 11 years without moving, do stuff to your muscles. I'm pretty sure normally he shouldn't be able to stand up, but well, he's a fighter, so what? And he nearly got killed multiple times walking around on the street, where I ask myself, why is he laying somewhere else where he can get out by himself instead of, I don't know, putting a locked door or stuff like there. But okay. Yeah. Thus he's in the future. I don't know how, at which exact point he is in the future, just 2036. We do not know enough about when, what was important to me. The professor, as example, is working on / using Gina. We haven't seen Mayuri there either, because that's a timeline where she's dead. So I guess thus Mayuri isn't there, Shiina isn't there either. I mean, Kagari, right? So the question is if he could be somehow able to find the professor and stop him from brainwashing Gina, so then not use her against him. But then this future is completely different from the one we have seen before. As I said, Mayuri isn't there, thus this whole idea of this future is a different one. Daru was impressive. I mean, look at him, nice. And he is kind of a leader there. Still not this front line leader. But I can see it. It's interesting to see that they formed a real organization, Valkyrie, and that there are other people following them. So it's not just the lab members, it's people around them. Which was confusing for me the first time that we have had this firefight, because there were multiple gunshot lights on the top of the building where they were, and I was only aware of two people being there, Ruka and the cat. I know her name, Why the heck does I miss it now? You know who I mean? Ferris. Thanks a lot. But then I could see that there are other people there as well. So it makes sense. And I can see why. I mean, if this is a war about controlling time, about time machines, but apart from that, these people, Daru, Paris, Ruka, and everyone else around them, Suzuha and so on, they are good people. That's the thing. And if you give them time to talk to you, you will realize this. Those are people you can trust. You can live together with, work together with. So it makes sense they do have some followers or people who were added to the ranks. They are not shown very much. They are not explained very much. What the concept of Valkyrie is and how deep the people believe in it, or if it is just I have to stand with someone at least. And I don't think we will hear about that very much in the future episodes. So, well. What I want to talk about, however, are two things. So the one thing is the death of Ruka. That was just not necessary. It was plain stupid. Sorry. I mean, she said, I will cover when you fall back. So when someone says this, it normally means you go, I die. And you know that. As good as never someone came back from that alive. She even is able to strike a heroic pose here. Nice and cool, and it was, it was an emotional moment and everything, but just not necessary. Especially if you see that she killed all of them. Or at least some maybe have run away. She could have done the same thing while the other fighters of their group were still there. And they could have shot in this appearing melee fight and could have saved her. So there was no need for the others to fall back. Or she could have run away with them as well, because it did not look like the others were able to follow easily. So there was, sure, it's for the story and to show what kind of a character she has become and give her the heroic death while seeing Ocarina for the last time and everything. But it was just plain stupid. So, well, I don't know why. Just not needed. It's interesting to see that Faris did not age one day. That Maho did not age one day. That makes sense. I can understand that Maho thing. So they say it is this effect she has on her. The genetic effect. But even then, her face, her skin, and stuff alike should have aged. Even if you're trapped in the body of a child, your skin ages like the one of a normal being does. So there should have been a difference. They could have done something with her hair. I mean, it's 25 years, so surely she should have a different hairstyle by now. But okay. They let him play with that. By far didn't change. Well, I guess she looks very much for her outer appearance, and it's important to her that she always looks like that, so possibly a lot of makeup. Yeah. We have the date of July 7th, 2011 as being important. So they pointed that one out by using Maho. I guess we will come back to that in many ways. And then we have the, kind of breakdown again from Ocarina due to the death of Ruka. So there were two things. I was not aware that she was not a lab member. And I never thought about it because I really believed she was. So I can see her in a wish to become one, to be one. So if he makes it back in time, which I kind of hope, I'm pretty sure that is one thing he will do. He will promote her to a lab member, more neither instantly, because he knows now how important that was to her. I mean, it is the thing she says while dying, so what the heck, So he will hopefully do that. And then he has a breakdown about that he did not understood anything. I mean, it is one of these philosophical terms, I know that I know nothing. I'm not sure. It might be Socrates. I'm not sure which one, but an old philosopher said that, and it's very true. We know nothing, Jon Snow. So it is the thing how much you ever think you do know, and especially as a scientist. The more you know, the more you realize that you really don't know anything. We are just scrapping on the surface of the universe and what it means. And to get this knowledge is possibly something needed to keep you on the mark, to keep you on the ground. Because the moment you think you know a lot or everything, you're possibly going crazy at this moment. So he's aware of that in a very broken down way. But, and that's a nice sentence, and it's good to see that Daru and Maho give that one to him. While his other self said that, he also said, but nothing is meaningless. So you can put that directly on the deaths we have seen. The death of, as example, Mayushi. As harsh as it may be, it is not meaningless. It did do something. It, as example, inspired him to do something. The death of Ruka now is inspiring him to do something. So this emotional pushes he does need. It's sad, but we have seen it in the past in Steins Gate and in Steins Gate Zero that Ocarina needs this push of, sadly enough, the harshest situation, the death of a loved one. So and it gives him the energy he needs, the forwardness, the well, you know what I mean, the push. So his expression changed, and I like that. I commented it, the fact that he is determined again, that he wants to do something, which always was the one thing that propelled the story forward when it comes to time travel. It was always connected to him. And so he wants to do another time leap. Now, to that, the time leap machine jumps back 48 hours. So you could say it will not change much. Yes, he may be able to make sure that Ruka doesn't die. Sure. But apart from that, he cannot change this future in general. But then there was a thing he asked before stating leaping again, sorry. And that was to Daru, so you copied the memory data from a PC to my brain. So you know, and that's the thing that he didn't ask, but in the end, so you know how to do that. And it worked, because he's there. So I asked myself if maybe, just maybe, he has the idea of sending this data and instructions how to copy them 48 hours back. The person there, Daru, sends this data back 48 hours. 48 hours, 48 hours, endlessly, you know? For 25 years. Is this possible? I mean, we always had the problem that this sending back was only able for 48 hours, but I'm not completely sure anymore why. I think that the machine had this capability of only sending it 48 hours. And I don't know, but it seems to me like we never really tried then jumping again, because it always took so long to rebuild the machine then, because it wasn't there. But now the machine exists from 7th of July 2011 until 2036. It exists all the time. So you could possibly do this endless jump, you know, 2 days, 2 days, and 2 days, until you reach 2011. Just thinking. And then you could try copy data onto. So in this case, the data of the ocarina we have now. Just an example. So we have 52 options. We can copy the data of the ocarina we have now if he uses it. Who knows about the death of Ruka, as example, and what the future really is like, and is aware that he has to stop it. Or he could use, which would be interesting as well, the data of the ocarina that just arrived at the beginning of this episode. So the one that is not aware of the future directly. and send this data back because we already have it. Both options would be valid. We have a slightly changed person, however. Interesting one. So, but he could send this back and then see what's going on. I don't know. He would arrive. Well, I'm really not sure where he would arrive. I mean, possibly at the time when he did send it. So maybe we could go for an ending like end of last episode now. He sends, then it gets overwritten, or they receive the message and they overwrite him. However, that should work out. And he's aware that creating Valkyrie and building a time machine will cause this world war. And he could say, like, it's not worth it. As sad as this may sound. And I end it here. So we have Mayuri gun and we have Suzua gun, who was from the future, and we have Maki's gun. But we do not have a time war. A war about the time machine. So, might be a finish. It's not a nice one, but it is a possible one. But then, it seems like he's still striving for Steins Gate. So, I'm not sure where he would go from there. I am really not sure. Interesting. I will see. Maybe I missed something and he has another idea. I mean, he is in the time where Daru did build a time machine. So, not in this version here, clearly, because Suzua is still there. But we know that he has the options to do it. The just capability is something Daru is able to do. So together, they could do it, possibly. Question is if they will. Interesting episode. Opens up very, very many options now, while still restricting it very much because he's stuck in the future now, it seems. We will see. And we will discuss about it, as always. So, until the next episode, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye, and out.